I love when people who aren't in show business tell me how to pursue my career. Commenter, I have tried both living in a cheap place and commuting into New York for auditions. I have tried living in the city where those auditions are. Allow me to educate you on what the differences were. When I was living in my hometown in Pennsylvania, I worked more than full-time, usually 6 days a week. So in order to attend the audition, I had to take the entire day off of work. Now, the line for theater auditions when you're not in the union starts around 4 a.m. But in order to give a good performance, you need to be well rested. So I had to choose between being well rested and waking up at 2 a.m. to commute in. Now, I could more easily line up at 4 a.m. if I got a hotel room in the city, but can you take a guess at how much those cost? There was one hotel about 15 years ago that I used to be able to stay in for $40 a night. Now that hotel is hundreds of dollars a night. And remember, I've had to take the day off work. No money is being made, only spent. Then I'd either take Amtrak into the city because there happened to be a train station in my hometown, or I'd drive in. If I take the train, that costs about $160 round trip, and they're not early enough for me to line up at 4 a.m., so I'm gonna be at the back of the line. Now, if I choose to drive, first of all, now I have a car, which means I have car payments. And driving across 2 states means that you're going to have to fill up on gas at least once. So you're paying for gas, you're paying for tolls, and then you're paying the ridiculous New York City parking fees. And because the wait for the audition can be like 6 hours, you're paying for 6 hours of New York parking. And as I said, because I'm probably not lining up at 4 a.m., I'm probably going to be towards the back of the line. And when you're non-union and you're towards the back of the line, it's very possible that you will not get to audition that day, which would make your entire day of taking off work, driving into the city, paying all that money, pointless. But let's pretend by some miracle I was number 1 on the list and I get seen. Hooray! I go into the room, sing or talk for 2 minutes, and that's it. So then I have to pay the parking fees, burn more gas on my way home, and pay the tolls yet again. Not to mention the wear and tear on my car of driving hundreds of miles in one day, and the risks you're taking spending hours on a highway with irresponsible drivers. And after all that, there's like a 0.1% chance that I'll get that job. Not because I'm not talented, but because like hundreds of other people showed up and the chances are pretty low. Now let's look at the audition day when I live in the city where the audition is being held. I don't have to take the day off of work, which is already a win, right? I do still have to sign up in the morning though. However, because I'm union, I'm able to go a little bit later. So I get up around 7 and head into Manhattan for signups. I always choose the latest slot of the day around 5:30 so that I miss as little of the workday as possible. Once I sign up at 8 or 9 a.m., I head into work. Depending on the sign-up time, I might be right on time for work or I might be like half an hour late. Then I do my workday and leave around 4 p.m. This does shave off an hour from my time card, which sucks, but it's better than having to take the whole day off. Especially because New York is obviously a hub for auditions and I try to go to as many of them as possible. This way I don't have to take like 5 days off every month. But keep in mind, the only reason that I can arrive a little late and leave a little early is because I have a very laid-back manager and boss. If I didn't have a laid-back manager and boss, I wouldn't be able to go to these auditions. And given your comments about lazy and entitled people and your brags about money, I'm going to guess you don't appreciate the people who work extremely flexible jobs so that they can audition, such as serving. But speaking of money, let's compare the money spent on a suburbs audition day and the money spent on a New York resident audition day. On the suburbs audition day, not only did I not make any money, I also spent hundreds of dollars to be seen for a job that I probably won't get. On New York audition days, not only do I make money because I'm working at least 6.5 hours of my workday, and I make up a lot of it on the weekends, but the only transpo that I pay for is $2.90 each way on the subway. I also save a ton of time and I'm safer not being on the road for 4 to 6 hours in one day. And because I'm not sacrificing a full day of work and pay, and saving tons of time, if I don't get the job, which I probably won't, it's not heartbreaking because I didn't really lose anything besides the part. So tell me, which do you think is the smarter choice if I want to audition once a week?